Hi, I'm Victoria with Luxion Homes and the Danbury Company. Today we're going to do a market review, go over some of the market conditions. Lately, the market's been quite crazy, and I hear all the time, how is the market? What market are we talking about? What area? What price range? Are we talking about buyers or are we talking about sellers? There's a few different price points that make a difference out there. There's the 3 to 5 range. 3 to 5 range is a lot of relocation. We do a lot of business. Putting a home on the market in a 3 to 5 range right now, you should expect it to sell right away, and a good possibility you could still get multiple offers. That is a super strong point, and if it shows well, you're good to go. From 5 to 7, still a great price range. We're still looking at different relocation, people moving up, really good price point. And with the market, the way that it's increased so much, that 5 to 7 range is really more like our 4 to 6 from before. So it's still a real strong price point in our outlining school district areas. Some of the top school districts and the areas where I'm more specialized is the Ottawa Hills, Sylvania, Anthony Wayne, Perrysburg, and the Springfield, Holland area where Tremor and Stone Oak are. Over the last rolling 12 months, we sold over 100 homes from 700 to a million. And then once we got over a million, we sold 21 homes. But the interesting thing is when I'll meet with sellers and they'll, like, how's the market? How many buyers are out there? And what we're finding is in this upper price range, we're more likely to have a cash buyer than we are a financing buyer. So in that 700 range, we've got a 20% chance that we're going to have a cash buyer. And in that upper price point over a million, we have a 38% chance. If we look at the last rolling 12 months of how many deals closed that are in our MLS with cash. So higher the price point, so far what we're showing is more likely to be cash. Buyers are now waiving some conditions in their appraisal or their inspection, where before it was always subject to an appraising and subject to the inspection. Now you might see that they may not ask for items under $2,000. They may not ask for items if they're not under major. But what we found was that number was more about a third was showing some type of change in the contract, which is good and expected and what we're hearing. Well over half of our deals, if not 3/4 of our deals, that I as the selling agent was bringing in with changes to the contract that helped my seller. So whether it was the appraisal waived, whether it was the inspection or some type of waiver on there that was in my seller's favor to get them to closing without the contingencies. So very, very important, because the seller is in the driver's seat until we get the accepted offer. What's important is to be proactive and not reactive. You need to set yourself up so that you're always in the driver's seat through the contract. Once the buyer signs and everything is, you've got the accepted offer, the buyer is now in the driver's seat. The buyer now all of a sudden starts to have buyer's remorse. They start to think maybe they shouldn't have wrote this offer. What I've also found is over 20% of the deals will go back on the market. That is why it's super important that you have an agent that's going to keep your deal together and that's going to be working proactive rather than reactive. They're going to have a team that's going to be following up. They're going to have someone at the office who's going to be able to make sure that all the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed, so that your transaction is going to go very smooth. Those things should be expected in this upper price range, and those things are needed in order to get to closing on time with the least amount of hassle, as well as to bring in the highest value. When I was looking at the upper range, I wanted to see how the pricing was going and where they were selling at. We were over about 2% of our list to sale ratio, where I was seeing the average coming in right at around 100%. So from a seller in this upper price point, 2% is a lot, especially, you're comparing commissions and you want to know where that value is. If an agent can bring you in 2% more than another agent, there's a lot of value in that, especially when you get up into this higher range. So real important to know where your agent's at and where they're bringing in their list to sale ratio in this upper price point. It could be different in different price points. So where they're at in their upper price point is super important. what we're really seeing the big changes is I saw a trend to either homes sell really quick or they've been staying longer on the market. That then is messing up our average numbers because we might have a home that's on the market for 280 days and then these other ones that are really short that change that average. So what we're seeing more is either you sell within the first 30 or it takes you a really long time. There's not a whole lot in the medium. We're just beginning in this last 30 days of starting to see the homes sitting just a little bit longer. So that's what leads me to believe that we're now on the verge of starting to see the market change. Interesting fact, what I found, if it helps you to know like how inventory is doing, if you looked at where we were in January of 21 for homes over 500, we had just over 9 months of inventory on the market for there. We're down to 3.8 months worth of inventory. If you looked at the 700 and above range, if you look at Lucas and Wood stats, back in January of 19, we had 4 months worth of inventory. We're down to just a little bit over 2.